and welcome back to the Movie Studio, and today I'm here to talk about the Outer Banks Season 4 Part 2 trailer that was just dropped, as well as the renewal announcement for Season 5, the final season, which is bittersweet, and just some last-minute theories I have before Part 2 drops this Thursday. We were only 2 days away, guys. The break between parts went by really quick. I think the month gap is the perfect amount of time. I think the Cobra Kai 4-month gap is way too long. I think a month is perfect because it really gave me a lot of time to develop theories in my mind. So I think they made a great decision with that, splitting it up in 2 parts and having it be months apart, 1 month apart. But basically they just got renewed for season 5, the final season, and I'm not really upset. Like, 5 seasons, in my opinion, is a perfect amount, and depending on how this season ends, it could really set up season 5 in a good way to be the best season yet. I mean, I've already loved season 4 just from the first 5 episodes. I love the storylines. I love the character development. I love the relationships. The only complaints I had was one, the reveal of JJ's dad just didn't make sense to me, and we'll see in part 2 what actually happens, but I don't know. It didn't really seem to fit the storyline. It's just such a big reveal, and it's hard to really care about the Chandler dude. We barely seen him, so it seemed like such a big reveal for a character that we barely even seen, and it's just kind of random too. Like, there was no lead up. I mean, and Chandler did show an interest in JJ. I get that, but it's just so random that there's suddenly this plot twist that JJ's father is not actually his father. It's just it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'm sure they'll explain it better in part 2, I hope. The other thing I didn't really like, I just thought the way they introduced the blue crown was kind of stupid. Like, I wish there was like a bigger reveal that was the treasure they were looking for. It's just they happened to look in a textbook and find that the blue crown was what they were supposed to be looking for. I'm like, okay, like, and I don't know. I like the search for the amulet. That was fun, and I get they needed a bigger treasure. It's just, I'm like, come on, you could have like at least wrote it in better, like you finding out what you need to find. Like, I don't know. And I guess it's fine that they're looking for the crown. I would still like something a bit more personal to the characters. Like, to me, now that this could change, but right now I do feel like the what they're searching for is way outside their connections. I mean, and I guess now it's connected to JJ via Chandler and everything, and I get Cleo has a rivalry with Leitner. Like, I get there's connections, but like the Pogues themselves just aren't really invested in this treasure, so it's a bit hard to be invested in their search, I guess. But we'll see what happens. I mean, really, all the other ones, especially, the cross with Pope, but even the gold, I mean, the gold especially, there was such significance on the connections with the Pogues, that I feel like this mystery is just a bit disconnected from everyone. But we'll see how they change that in part 2. But everything else in part 1 I loved. So kind of going into part 2, looks like we're kind of picking up exactly where we left off. There was a lingering issue about the restrictions and with the surf shop. So that's going to be continuing, and it looks like they're going to lose their shop, which means they're losing their land because that's where they stay. So it sounds like that's going to be a conflict right off the bat. So they're going to need more money, which they've been searching for. They're broke again. And I guess they're going to work with Chandler to find the cross in Morocco. Now, I don't know if we can trust him. I'm curious, is JJ... I assume JJ's going to, like, have scenes with him after this reveal. Now, I don't know where Luke fits into all of this. Like, is he still going to be around? Like, I feel like he kind of has to be. I mean, he's been lying to JJ this whole time about being his real father. Now, so I don't know. I assume he will be. And I definitely want to see more Chandler. I think because we barely saw enough of him, which was one of my problems. In my opinion, they should have had him be the big bad, or not even the big bad, but had him be the bigger role and Leitner be more like a smaller role. But maybe they're going to try to redeem him and give JJ a good father figure, and maybe he'll be a good guy. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, he was with Hollis at the end of part 1. The girl who's trying to work real estate with Rafe, who I think is a cougar. So I don't know if she'll be back, probably, but I don't know, because Rafe's going with the Pogues, which is my next point. Rafe's going to be helping the Pogues get to Morocco. Um, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Rafe with the Pogues. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to many dynamics with that. I'm looking forward to the Zombie and Rafe fight that we see in the trailer. That's going to be interesting. I'm especially looking forward to, it looks like Sarah's going to be saving Rafe from getting shot. Now that's going to be a good scene, seeing her protect him. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm definitely ready for some sort of step in the right direction for Rafe and Sarah's relationship. Like, I think it's gone on long enough. I mean, now that Ward's out of the picture, I really hope Rafe and Sarah can at least try to mend fences. I mean, they're family. I mean, I know there's so much stuff that's happened between them, but I do hope, it seems like they're actually going to try to redeem their relationship. And I don't know about a whole Rafe redemption. We'll see. I mean, the trailer hinted at, like, kind of mixed bag with that. I mean, he's holding a knife to John B, but also Sarah's saving him. So I don't know. I'm very curious what they're going to do with Rafe, and of course how Sophia fits into all of that, and how Hollis fits into all of it. There could definitely be a side plot with Sophia and Hollis. Like, Hollis could do something to her while everyone's away, but I don't really care. I mean, Sophia's an interesting character, and I think she's good for Rafe. But to me, the Hollis plot was also a miss. I didn't bring it up, but I'm not a fan of that whole plot line at all. So I kind of hope they ditch it. They probably won't, but I assume they'll explain away the Chandler and Hollis connection too. That threw me for a loop too. That was weird. Wasn't really, like, that part of the episode 5 ending was not really it for me. I did not really like that. But we also have, it looks like Sarah's pregnant, which I saw people have been theorizing about this since season 4 started production because of the way Sarah was isolated from everyone. So about this, I don't know. I think she is pregnant unless they're completely throwing us off. So I assume, unless she just loses the baby or dies, which I hope not, that there'll be a time jump and she'll have the baby in season 5. Or we'll time jump and we'll see a little kid, not a baby, but like a toddler, or I don't know. We'll see. I think a time jump they kind of have to do. I don't see them carrying a baby on their treasure run. That would kind of be weird and kind of ruin the momentum. So I guess that's probably what we'll see for season 5. Now, I do think this is going to really weigh on Sarah and John B, especially as they, continue to go on these hunts and everything. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also hoping this could be a turning point for Rafe and Sarah when he finds out she's pregnant. I think that will have something to do with it. I really hope they'll guide Rafe on the right path. I don't think I think there's still hope for him. And if they, so far in part 1, he's been more chill. Like, even season 3, they toned him down a little bit. Like, really, season 2 was his most crazy. But I think they're setting him on the right path towards redemption. Now, I don't know. I think part 2 will really define, is he getting redeemed or not? So we'll have to wait and see about that. But some other big moments from the trailer. One is Kiara getting put into, like I don't know what it is, but she's like getting locked up in something. So I assume that's maybe Chandler, maybe, or Lightner. Probably Chandler is my guess. So we'll see about that. And then Pope in jail is also interesting. Like, how did he wind up in there? And I assume that's going to be early on, because I assume they're going to be in Morocco for like the final few episodes. So I assume we'll see JJ. It looks like JJ's going to be getting arrested or something, and then they're going to help him escape, and that'll be like right off the bat too, episode 6 probably, because I think he's going to be really thrown for a loop about this, and they're going to try to support him. But here I'm over here, and I'm like, how are Pope and Sarah going to get out of the church? Like, I'm still thinking about that, because they did not address that at all. And I hope it doesn't pick up and it's just like, oh yeah, they got out fine. No, I actually want to see how they get out, and I feel like we will. I really hope they pick up right where we left off. They usually do, but I don't know if they wrote it differently because of part 1 and part 2. But I feel like they have to do that. I want to see what happens. So, I mean, those are like the main plot points. I mean, again, I'm really looking forward to part two. I think them and their Moroccan outfits are also really funny. Um, but again, I loved part one, and I think part two is going to be just as good, if not better. And I'm really looking forward to it. So, comment down below what you guys thought of the trailer for part two, what you guys think of the season 5 renewal, and of course, just final theories for part two. I'll be back on Saturday with a full review of it. I will not be doing episode by episode because I don't have time for that. And the only reason I did it for part one is because I was on fall break then. So I'll just be doing one recap, like immediate thoughts. I might reflect on it a little bit, like on Friday, and then record. But it'll be like just my overall thoughts of mostly the finale, but of the season, the second half as a whole. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye everyone.